What's up, tribe? Thank you for being here and welcome to my channel. Today's post is titled Creation and Destruction. And as this is a dialogue between Matias and his higher self, I'd be referring to Matias as me and his higher self as I am. Me. Today in the pyramid, I felt something special again. I think the month has come when the fact of going every day begins to take effect. Today I felt that I expanded and lived a kind of mini ayahuasca ceremony. Reality began to fragment and I expanded out of my body, rotating in all directions until I felt that everything was contracting and decompressing according to my position. All those forms that seemed chaotic were actually very harmonious, and I could say that they coexisted only in my imagination, because there is nothing that can compare it to the real world. And then everything began to be ordered in such a way that suddenly everything contracted, disappearing, as if everything were light outside, and the different shapes are only visible through the play of light and shadow. But at the moment when each piece found its place, everything became so dark that it seemed emptiness. There was nothing. The concept of the center was unintelligible, and then everything collapsed. Big Bang. The greatest order of all in the void generated so much tension between the parts that held each other perfectly, that all that modern was released towards the center, imploding and then exploding outwards. I am creation and destruction. Both lived in an instant. The world of ideas, of conceptual planes, the abstract universe finds the power of manifestation only at the moment of the destruction of its stability. Well, it is the combination of the abstract that creates art. The colors and the lines separately do not form anything. They do not make sense. However, the chaos generated is what allows the universal being to create. Me. What is creation? Humans interpret creation as the ability of an intelligent mind to design and manifest a reality. I am. For the universe, intelligence is not superior. It is organic. For there is no intelligence without synapses. There are no synapses without interconnectors. There is no interconnection without polarities. There is no polarities without individualities. And there is no individuals without division. And there is no division without parts. But there are no parts without a whole. That is to say that for intelligence, there must be a mental network that sustains and enables it. For this reason, a truly intelligent mind would never be considered superior, since putting itself above something would make it out of intelligence. The term comes from the Latin inter and legere, between and read, which would give the idea of knowing how to read between the lines. Being at the top would imply being only the title of the text. Therefore, the Creator is not a superior mind that designs. The Creator is a being that allows himself to live, feel, play, experience, traverse all the lines and words of the book of life. A creator is an artist who generates from previous forms, taking what can already be conceived as a whole. It disarms it, destroys it, to turn it into another transcendental thing. Me, how to take the primary colors, blue, yellow, red, white, and black, and create a landscape full of colors through their combinations. I am, that's right. When you prepare a meal, you are lovingly creating something that nourishes your loved ones or your own body. And yet, it can be understood as the destruction of the plants or animals that you have used to create it. The creation process is not intelligent. It's organic. It's artistic. Intelligence occurs during the understanding of what is created, by interconnecting the parts, by seeing the meaning between everything expressed, what is created. Me. So there's no creator, as we usually say? I am. No, there is creation. The concept and the smart grid is the same creation. Each atom is a structure that generates the creator. Creator and created arise at the same moment. What was the first? The egg or the chicken? Me. The egg, forever. I am. Why? Me. Because the egg is a cellular tool that has worked for millions of years, and the genetic changes that produced a chicken from megalodus could only occur in the yolk of the egg according to its temperature and minerals. I am. Thus, the chicken egg and the hen emerged at the same moment. When the first hen was gestated with an egg that became a chicken egg at the same time that the chick was being formed. And life arises when the hen breaks the egg and eats what is left of it. Me. Destruction. I am. Destroy comes from the word de and stroyer, which mean direction from the top to bottom, and to gather or pile up, respectively. The meaning of the word means to scatter what was in the same place, what was all united and together is separated into parts. Does it sound familiar? Me. Yes. Big Bang. The story of the creation of the cosmos. Everything that exists emerges from a vibration. Millions of parts emerge from unity. I am what you call the great moment of creation is actually the greatest moment of destruction in the universe. In the same way that life on Earth must thank comets and asteroids that destroyed its surface, causing it to enter a period of volcanic activity that left the surface on the world black and red, until that same greenhouse effect caused the condensation of the molecules that made water, filling the oceans for thousands of years. Me, the asteroids and volcanoes that leave desolate and devastating landscapes are precisely those that allowed life to appear. I am. It is the constant destruction of ecosystems through the millennia that forces life to adapt and evolve. It is the crisis that nourishes the artist with creativity. It is the separation that inspires unity. It is war that inspires peace. It is the problems that inspire the solutions. The questions are the key to the answers. Me. So what we call the duality of destruction and creation. They are not opposites, but they are exactly the same thing. But in this case, the question might arise, what happens when life is destroyed? When ecosystems, towns, cities, countries, families, people are destroyed? I am. Destruction implies pain, for what was together is forced to separate. Remember, the universe always tries to save the greatest amount of energy for specific moments. So organisms are structured and affirmed in rigid patterns that save strength and vitality. The more they stiffen, the more it hurts when it's time for transformation. And instead of transforming out of pain, he will call it change. Change comes from the Indo-European scamp, which means turn or curve. Unlike transforming, which is modifying one form into another, the pain of change is called suffering when the foundation of the physical, emotional, and mental stability occur. Suffering comes from the Latin words sub and fere, underneath and bare, respectively. That is to say, putting up with something hidden, underneath. Suffering thus has a connotation of having lost what was inside, what was iron, hard, rigid, what was considered stability. Destruction brings pain because pain comes from the Indo-European tele, which means to cut something in half, to cut. In English, the word pain comes from the Greek poigne, which gives rise to the word pain. In Romance languages, it means fine. A punishment for something wrong. Feeling sorry, then, is feeling guilty about something that happened to someone else, even if it wasn't your problem. Me. Sure. That is why creating something new hurts us. We are sorry that something changes because it means something that is broken. That is broken into pieces. In life, the first pain is meiosis, the division of cells that make a baby. So every time the body mitoses, dividing cells is a pain process. Growing up hurts, they say. Being born is another great pain, because two humans separate who for 9 months were like one. Fight, break a relationship, argue with a friend, emancipate yourself. A social conflict divided by a cliff of thoughts, a war. They are all forms of division, of breaking the parts, and in turn, it is creating. I am. Well, if there had never been division, there would never have been life. There would have never been anything. No change. Starting with the essentials, we would all continue to be today unicellular organisms at the foot of an oceanic volcano. Me. Life destroys itself just to exist. It's almost paradoxical. I am. Even so, in everything, there's a balance. Creation and destruction need process times that must be harmonious, such as the time it takes for spring to bloom, summer to bear fruit, autumn to make the leaves fall and break, and winter to contain the force for the new dawn. All processes of creation and destruction, as in the seasons, whether they are the four cyclical or the dry and wet, are stages of balance which keep everything being created in constant harmony by destroying the above. Me. What if it gets out of balance? I am. The process is accelerated more, and living beings have no tools to cope with the process, going off axis, leading to greater suffering and pain. This is the explanation why there is so much pain in the human world. It is simple. You are forcing the cyclical machine, taking it to the extreme. The more you want to produce, the more you have to destroy, and therefore, the more pain you will generate. Me. Sure, that's what makes us see problems as challenges, as consistent suffering. It is what makes us think that destruction is bad, because we cannot process the creative in it. I am. When you split an atom in half, energy is generated. When you force two atoms to join together, you generate energy. Both ways will give you energy. The wind, the sun, breaks the atoms. They divide them. They destroy them to obtain energy. The nuclear fusion of atomic plants obtain energy by doing the opposite, appealing to the unity of these atoms. That is to say, in energy source, you understand that putting everything together is not always the most ecological and healthy solution. Sometimes the healthiest thing is to destroy. Only you do not recognize it as such because you have moralized the concepts of creation and destruction. Me, they are both one, and all you have to do with them is balance them at a constant rate that does not lead to pain that is impossible to process, such as a war, for example. I am. It is always better to solve a problem than to fight a war caused by a problem that perhaps had other solutions. The more you squeeze the energy to change, the more painful the change will be. Me, I am the creation that destroys from its origin. I am the destruction that creates from its origin. I am the artist who turns pain into evolution and change into transformation.